Welcome to Property Real Estate. Today we're going to go through our Form 6 Management Agreement. So this is the Queensland version of a management agreement that gives our agency authority to act on your behalf of managing your investment property. So this is the first page here. These are the client details. So they refer to the owners of the property. So if there's more than one owner, we can pop them down here. Otherwise, we just fill in the details here for the owner, where they live, and their best contact details. The next section is the licensee details. So this is our licensee. We're a corporation, so our licensee is Property U Management, and these are our ABN and license numbers and our office address. Coming down further, we have the details of the property. So this is a description of the property. If it's an apartment, a house, if it has a pool, it's generally describing the property. So 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, residential apartment or residential dwelling. This is the address, the lot number, and the title reference down here. Now this is what you're appointing us to do. So if you're looking to sell your property, then this would be here. But in this case, we are leasing, collecting rent, and managing it for you. So we've ticked this box. Now our appointment is continuing from today's date. This is the price that we put on the property. So this amount will be spoken to you about. So you just put the weekly rental amount or as instructed. So that means if it goes up or if it goes down or if it needs to be adjusted in any way, we just follow your instructions here. So these are also where you talk about our instructions and our conditions to act on your behalf. And we actually have a schedule, a property management schedule and terms that goes into that in more detail. So I've got here, as per the property management schedule and terms of appointment. So it's attached on the back of this form. Now, this is termination of appointment. So we can mutually agree to end our relationship at any time if we both agree. Otherwise, either party needs to give 30 days notice. Obviously, that's worst case scenario, and I would really request that if there's any issues, you bring that to my attention so that we can handle it head on and get it sorted out for you. Open communication is key with any issues. Now, this is sales. Ignore this bit. Ignore this bit. Now, this is where we talk about our commission. So our commission is for leasing and property management services. And again, we're going to refer to this schedule, which is on the back of this form. Go down. Now, this is just if you want us to mostly use print media and things like that, magazine, newspaper articles and things about your property. We don't generally do that anymore, as by the time it goes to print, it's usually leased. But I've put in here as agreed by agent and owner to maximise the inquiry levels. So all of our marketing is done online via websites and also social media. So this is, it's a little bit of a futile section. But anyway, moving down. Now, this is where you nominate the amount of money that you pre-approve us to spend on your behalf if your tenant advises us of any maintenance issues. For example, leaky taps, a door needing adjustment or a door handle needing to be rekeyed, something like that. If you don't want to be bothered with little maintenance issues, you can give us authority to spend up to $200 or $500 or whatever. Otherwise, just put 0 here if you would like to be contacted for every single maintenance issue before we go ahead. If we don't have anything here, that's what we will do anyway. We'll always ask for your approval if we're not sure, just so that you're aware of everything. So these are other fees and charges that we charge, which is blank. This is if we get a discount or rebate for referring you to a specific service, which we don't. So we just move down here. Now, this is where we sign. So you sign here, I sign here. And then we've also got our schedule attached, okay, which we're going to get to in a minute. Ignore this section. This is if we're going to reappoint another agent to act on our behalf, which is not happening. So let's move forward. Now, this is this schedule, which is part of the REIQ's accredited schedule. So this is where we're talking about whether or not we obviously have to tick here that we acknowledge that we have spoken to you about whether or not you have another agent already, and that you're obviously signing here that you haven't, you've just got us. Now we go into more details about the property. So in here we talk about how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, obviously how many kitchens, garage, how many toilets there are, and that sort of thing. We get more of an idea of this when we actually get into the property, and we can go through this in more detail. If there's any material facts, so anything that we should know about the property needs to go here. Now, if the property is already tenanted, just leave that blank. Otherwise, if it's due to settle on a certain date, or if you're moving out on a certain date, just pop the date in here that it's available for us so we can start marketing accordingly. Now, the most important part of this schedule is your bank details for your money to go in. So please fill these out. The bank name, the account name, the branch, it doesn't matter so much, but we do definitely need the BSB and the account number. Now, this percentage refers to only if there's more than one owner and you want to split the income, but most people are 100% and they just go to one account. Now, this is when you want to get paid your money. So we always do the first business day of every month. We always do the 15th business day of every month. We also have owners that get paid on a Monday, or get paid every Friday, or get paid on the 23rd of every month. So we can literally disperse you whenever you would like to be dispersed. And you can always change this at any stage as well. It's very simple. So it depends when you want to have your payments come in. You just let us know and we will set you up accordingly. Now, this is where we make our money. So we charge a week's rent for leasing your property. So that includes everything involved in getting you a new tenancy for the property, the entry report, the bond lodgement, the open homes, the marketing. It includes everything. And we just take that once. So that's for the first new tenancy. If your tenant stays forever, we do not charge for lease renewals, and you only ever pay that leasing fee if we need to vacate one tenant and enter another tenant in. So that's that fee. And then rent collection and management commission are pretty much the same thing. So as we receipt rent, we take a percentage of that rent every time we receipt the rent, and that's included as the management fee as well. Everything else is complimentary. Like I said, lease renewals are complimentary. We do organise all maintenance for you, complimentary. We do complimentary periodic inspections. We do up to 4 a year. We're allowed to do up to 4 a year. So we generally do one in the first month and then every sort of 12 to 15 weeks after that. So the other thing is we do end of financial year statement fee. The system generates that directly, so we don't charge for that. We do generally charge for mediation and tribunal representation only because of the huge demand on our time and paperwork involved with that. But we can talk that. Yeah, look, that's something that we can talk about further upon event. But generally, it's around $88 per hour, and it's worst case scenario if we end up having to go to tribunal. Title search, that's just confirming that you own the property, and that's, I think, a $25 cost just to confirm ownership. Advertising and marketing, like I said, that's included in the leasing fee up here. And what else have we got? Admin, complimentary admin, because obviously we pay for the software as an agency, so we don't charge for that. And professional marketing images, so we will cover the cost of those if you don't have any professional images or any that are presenting your property in the best light. We just want to make sure that when we're marketing your property that it's getting marketed to attract the highest quality tenants. So that's why we'll cover that cost for that. Now, next page, this is where you tell us if you want us to pay for these on your behalf. So anything that we pay on your behalf gets calculated and added into your end of financial year statement. So things like invoices for repairs and maintenance, if you want us to pay for those, just tick here. If not, we can send them to you for payment. Any council rates, water rates, body corporate levies, you can tick whether you want us to pay for those or not here. So we're happy to do that. There's no extra charge for that. It just let us know and we will just add them to the list. Now, this is where we talk about if the property is water compliant. So if you are not sure, please ask me and I will run through all of this with you. But I do suggest if it is individually metered, we get the property water efficient so you can pass on as much of your water usage charges as possible. So just, ask me about this if you're not sure. And this is where the tenant has to pay their own utilities. So if the property has electricity, which it does, they have to pay 100% of that. Gas, yes or no, depending on if they have gas in the property. Telephone, yes, they have to pay 100%. And any other services. So if they want internet or if they want to request Foxtel, that's up to them to pay for those services if it's applicable to the tenancy. Now, this is where we talk about emergency and routine repairs. So please read all of these terms and conditions. It just talks about the legislation and our duty of care to the tenant and your duty of care as an owner for an investment property and what the difference is between emergency and routine repairs. So certain things obviously need to be dealt with very, very quickly. Other things can sort of be scheduled in accordingly. So this section here is where you can nominate your own trades if you want us to use specific trades. So you can just pop them in here. If anything is under warranty or has ongoing servicing, so things like a septic or a sewage system gets done every 3 months, so you can put that sort of thing in there. This is where you give us approval to whether or not you want pets or not. So I would generally put upon application at the moment due to the change of legislation. So we can just cover that off as per your property and your individual needs. This is if the property has a pool or not. So there we go. Number of approved occupants that are allowed to reside at the property. So I've just put upon application here because obviously every application, every property is different. So you will get to decide who you want to put in there. So yeah, anyway, moving forward, special conditions for tenancy. So things like furniture protection, things like floorboards, things like care of bench tops, things like no pets on carpets, other things like no smoking, cleaning and gurneying the yard, weeding, Airbnb properties, things like that. That's already in our lease. We already have everything covered off in there, but these are specific conditions for your property that you're really adamant that you don't want to happen, just so we can clear those off in there. For example, if there's a shed on the property and the tenant doesn't have access to the shed, those sorts of things. So then we go down and we talk about our insurance. So you will have public liability as part of your landlord insurance. They're all in the same package. If you do not have this, can you please just double check with your mortgage insurance that you have or with your building insurance that covers public liability, and then just let us know, the insurer. That's great. And then the body corporate details here, please, if you know them. Otherwise, I can chase them up for you. Any emergency contacts. So if we can't get hold of you, we just need obviously someone else that we can call on your behalf in case of emergency. So that's very important. We just had a client that was living overseas and we were unable to get hold of her, but luckily we had her mum's details and she was able to assist us. So this is a very important bit. Now, our privacy policy, this is on our website. Please read through this so that you're aware that we will never disclose any of your confidential information. The tenants do have your name on their lease, but that is it. They never get your contact details. So please, if you have any questions about that, we take your privacy very seriously. Obviously, as ex-cops, we understand how important this can be. And then obviously we sign here, date, and then we, like I said, have a good read through all these terms and conditions, and goes over everything under the legislation. And then down here we have the pool safety annexure, so whether or not there's a pool, and usually I will look it up and make sure that it's registered and it's certified, and I'll pop the date in there so I can add an alert just to double check that the compliance doesn't lapse. And then we sign here, and then that is all. So please come back to us with any questions, and I would be more than happy to go through this with you in person or over Zoom. Thanks. Have a great day.